Feeling out of place is common for teenage girls. Lee Fiora tells her high school experience as a college graduate, reflecting upon high school in the novel Prep by Curtis Sittenfeld. Lee struggles to be happy at alt school in Massachusetts, yet she never actually tries to like alt or her classmates. She is a self-conscious teenager who feels out of place at a wealthy boarding school. The theme throughout the novel is that everyone's life has a meaning, as long as one does something with his or her life. In other words, people have to take charge of themselves and figure out what they want to get out of their lives so that they can achieve happiness. Throughout Prep, Lee Fiora tries to find herself and understand why she does not fit in without taking action to resolve this issue. Curtis Sittenfeld is a talented author who drew inspiration for the novel from her own life. Current biography mentions that for high school she enrolled at Groton, an exclusive boarding school near Boston, Massachusetts. A strong influence for the novel came from her own life. As Contemporary Authors Online states, one could substitute Cincinnati and Groton for the hometown and prep school, and that is roughly the story of Sittenfeld herself. That does not mean that her first novel is strictly autobiographical. Not only did she create a relatable story for her readers, but she added personal insight that made the story more realistic. In a part of the novel, someone told Lee exactly why she was unhappy at all. On pages 162 to 163, Lee and her teacher discuss Lee's behavior as a student. You can go through life disengaged, she said. You can be a person who always says no, who's not interested, not enthusiastic, who's too cool to be a part of things. Or, at some point, you can say yes. You can develop interests, take a stand, reach out to people. I see the way you don't talk to your classmates before or after class. People want to be friends with you. Dee Dee and Aspeth want to be friends with you, and at some point, I hope you'll give them the chance. I felt the corners of my lips twitch. To smile at this moment would be the worst thing I could do. It would enrage her. But she was so wrong. She was wrong about everything, and her wrongness was, if absurd, also flattering. I was not disengaged. I was not disinterested. Aspeth certainly did not want to be my friend, and I was one of the least cool people I knew. All I ever did was watch other students and feel curious about them, and feel dazzled by their breeziness, and racked by the impossible gaping space between us. My horrible lack of ease, my inability to be casual. And not feel strongly about things? I felt strongly about everything, not just my interactions with people, their posture, or their inflections, but also the physical world, the smell of the wind, the overhead lights in the math wing, the precise volume of the radio in the bathroom if it was playing while I was brushing my teeth. Everything in the world I liked or disliked, wanted more or less of, wanted to end or to continue. The fact that I had no opinion on, for instance, relations between the U.S. and China did not mean I didn't feel things. As for whether I was a cipher, that was more difficult to say because I didn't know what the word meant. But I would definitely look it up in the dictionary when I got back to the dorm. Are you hearing me? Miss Moray asked. Yes. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? I know. I get it. She wanted more from me. She wanted me to talk as much as she was, to confide. But I had nothing to say. I was not what she believed me to be except at this moment, with her, because she'd invented me. Do you want me to rewrite the paper? I asked. This isn't about the paper. Yes, the paper pissed me off a whole lot. But this is, and I know this sounds dramatic, but the stakes are high here. This is about your life, about you making something of your life. I want you to remember this conversation. Miss Moray words the discussion with Lee perfectly. Lee does not realize that her own behavior is what prevents her from excelling at all. As her teacher pointed out, if Lee were to socialize with her classmates, she would be happier and more successful. This supports the theme of the novel by enforcing the need for Lee to be involved in the world around her, instead of just watching. Throughout Prep, Lee Fiora tries to find herself and understand why she does not fit in, without taking action to resolve this issue. Prep was an enjoyable book to read because it seemed easy to relate to the main character at times. However, Leaf Fior is a very frustrating narrator because she just needs to take action for herself sometimes. Overall, this novel says that one cannot let life pass them by because eventually it will be too late. Life is not just about getting by, it's about living all the unforgettable moments that help to make people who they are. Curtis Sittenfeld seems to have a way of turning someone's boring life into a very interesting story that keeps unraveling with their relationships to other characters.